Join me as you and I and you take a journey to become better writers together and geek out. Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is Written Writ Ralph talking to you, and we are kicking off this Kickstarter right here for you. It's already live, so go support it already. And
let's go.
So we can figure out what it is you're supporting. And of course, there's so many components to this because this weekend, if you are at Tabletop and Gaming Expo, you can actually play the game and support it over there. So Jeff, let's get this thing kicked off, right? Explain to people what's going on. Go for it.
Yeah, so we just actually launched our Kickstarter for our game HitPoint, which if you missed it last night, it's a trading card role-playing game where your deck is your health and you can build characters, build your deck, and then you battle it out either in a trading card format or a long-form RPG campaign. So we have multiple different reward tiers that we've worked really hard to put together. And so we have 2 starter kits, and it includes 4 of our main classes that we have, playable classes. I'll let Jeff go into that in a second. And then we have a Corruption of Hosphere booster box, which is the first set. It includes all 151 cards. And there's 20 packs in each one with 12 cards in each, which is 240 cards. So we tried keeping the Kickstarter very simple, but to include everything that anyone would need to play the game. And so I'll pass it to Jeff to go over the classes.
Yeah, so I'm Jeff, by the way. Hi, everybody. The classes that we have in the Kickstarter right now for this set, which is called the Corruption of Hosphere, it's the Brutalist, which is like a barbarian warrior. You have a Brigand, which is like an assassin thief type. You have a Luthier, which is kind of like your bard. And then you have your Sayer, which is kind of like a druid shaman, you know. A lot of magic, a lot of like bleeds and poisons with the Brigand, a lot of bleeds with the Brutalist, you know, heavy swings. The Sayer is really like support heavy, dropping totems, buffs, debuffs, and the Luthier is just like your sexy music wielding magic guy, you know, or girl.
So right off the bat, what made you decide to pick the ones that you did pick? Because there has to be a reason for it.
So when we first started developing this, when we first were, you know, going around with classes, because I think when we first started doing it, we just had physical damage and magical damage.
We had your typical warrior mage.
Yeah. And we wanted to go beyond that because, you know, when we started talking about this, Jay and I, we were like, all right, do we just want it to be a game or do we want it to be like all encompassing, create a world, create classes within that world, create races within that world? And that's kind of the direction that we went. We actually, when we first did this, there were 9 classes that we made together. And after going through, you know, what we liked about these cards for the first set and the basis for the first set, we thought that these 4 classes kind of fit the best into the environment. So that's why we went with that. We have tons of other classes, though.
Yeah, so much more to dive into.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so there's more. You know, this is just your beginning. Okay.
Yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg, so to speak.
It feels like you've left the game a lot of room to grow.
There's so much. In developing this, we developed a world map as well. And if, you know, in the video for the Kickstarter, you could see, you know, we give you a broad view of what the world map looks like. And this set is literally one piece of one continent, you know, on the east side of the world, which is called Basildon. So there's so much more to play with that we're, you know, kind of going through for later. Right now, we're really focused on this set, you know, the world that we've kind of crafted for this area. And yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's insane. And everything, you know, we've been working on this thing for over a year now, and we're going to continue to fine tune all the rules and mechanics of like the RPG and just balance the cards. The cards, I would say, are like 95% done. The whole card game can be played. We've gone to many game stores and have successful events there. And so kind of taking the cards from this Kickstarter, we're hoping that people can help us define the RPG a little bit more, because that's been our biggest hurdle, is getting people to play test the RPG without us being there. Because it's very challenging to, it's an RPG. Anything could happen. It's very hard to test every single angle. And, we're not going to test every single angle, but multiple angles of things, just doing it, once a week.
Now, I completely get you, and that's what you want, and that's the whole idea, especially for any game, is to see what happens when you're not there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then, we've gotten before, I broke the game.
Yeah, we had an event last week where, we played a card, and this kid who we were playing with, what's his name again? Kyle, who's super cool, came to 2 of our events, and he just took a look at the card and was like, I can break this right now, and broke down the whole scenario. And Jay whipped out the notebook, and we were like, nope, that's a big ball. Nope, we got to fix that. So, it's an ever evolving game. Eventually, we're going to have to land the plane with it. Where we're satisfied, and we hope that everybody else who plays it satisfied. It's really fun. I mean,
but what's also awesome is that every different play group can homebrew cards. They can create their own cards to play in their own campaigns. They can create adventures and creatures and just add on to everything that kind of we've built the foundation for.
Yeah,
so
we kind of built the foundation on, is this fun? Is it a fun game to play? Where with other card games you play, sometimes it's a slog. We want the game to be easy to pick up, easy to put down, but still have enough detail and lore and a feel to it that you could be proud that you're playing this game with your friends.
So unlike Wizards of the Coast, you guys actually want people to do stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we're both fans of Wizards of the Coast. Like,
Don't worry, so am I. I'm just taking a jab at them for what they did.
Of course. I mean, there is salt being thrown at Wizards of the Coast, and we get that, but we were kind of born from that. Like, we play this game and we love this game. We have a lot of money invested in this game. What about our game? What do we want to play when we sit down at the table?
Yeah. And
it all started with Jay and Lisa, and they folded me in, and it really unfolded naturally, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Like I was saying yesterday, it's pretty surprising how smooth the 2 genres can blend.
Yeah.
Being so complex in their own way, it really works.
Yeah, taking the TCG aspect and parlaying that into the RPG aspect, even at its base, before we even started picking it apart, it flows so well. Like, Jay put a lot of thought into the rule set for this, and with just having minor kinks, it's really amazing. Like, I can't wait for people to see it and use it and play it.
Yeah,
I gotta say, last year, like I was saying yesterday, when I was there at Tabletop, it was so interesting to see some guy just come out of nowhere, play 3 games, and all of a sudden seem to be like a master at the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we want. We don't want it. We want it to be that you could play it and not feel like you have to, read 75 books to play it. I walk into a hobby shop right now and I want to get into Magic. I look at a wall of just boxes, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, and if you're in a store where they don't really have the time or they're busy, you could kind of just stand there trying to make up your own mind, So
completely understand, yeah.
Me and Jay and Lisa wanted it to be really easy to pick up for kids, for adults, for women who kind of shy away from the gaming genre. I know some women who don't want to play it because it's super rules heavy, or it's they feel like they don't fit in. This game is literally for everybody.
And I know exactly what you're saying, because I know that there was a couple of friends that saw all the stuff that was involved in playing the game and was like, nope, ain't doing it. Because if it's almost like being thrown in the deep end of the pool and going, swim.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that the number of conventions and shows that we've been to in 2023, a lot of the vendors have come over, sat down, learned the game and played, and then they would come back during the day when it was like when there were lulls. And so it's just really cool to have that kind of like bonding experience with other people who've never played games. Like
you saw that last year at Tabletop, because you saw people, they were just passing by and they're like, oh, let me jump in, and because you told them you can jump in and you can play, and like I said, you saw it right away. You saw that the person was struggling the first time, but not even that much, and then by the second game, they were already, oh, I got this, and then that guy by the third game was like defeating you guys.
Yeah.
The amount of times we get beaten is it's insane. Like, because when we play and we demo, we want people to see the cool cards and to play the cool cards. But like after one game, it's go time for these people. Like these are gamers, so like they get vicious, and they're doing combos that we didn't even foresee would be done, and we're like, oh, that's another thing that we may have to fix, or screw it, leave it in the game because it's just fun.
Right.
Exactly.
as long as it's not game breaking, we'll leave it in. But people, it's simple and not simple at the same time.
Yeah, you saw it. You actually saw it, and which it's funny because usually, I know I've heard people say stuff like that about their games, but it's very rare that you can sit there and go, yeah, I actually saw that it's that simple and complicated at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I could say that there was a 10-year-old kid, around 10 years old, who sat down after one round, learned how to play, and beat us in a convention.
With us trying. Like, it wasn't, listen, if there's blood in the water, I'm going for it, especially in a game. But like, we were trying, and Homeboy really did his thing. Like, he absolutely came over top. So that's desired effect. That's what we want.
Dude, and that's what you got. And I gotta say, I was there. I saw the excitement. I saw the fun people were having with it. It was exactly what I'm saying. People were passing by. You guys were able to get their attention to come into the booth, and boom, they were playing, and then they wanted to keep playing.
Yeah, it's hard to get people up after they sit down.
Tabletop last year, to me, in my own head, is kind of like the birth of this game, because I feel like if we didn't get such a good response, I don't think that we'd still be doing this right now. Because of that reaction from the people that were there, and they were all amazing. Like, that's what kind of like birthed this whole process. And we're only a year later, and the fact that this game is where it's at right now, and we just launched a Kickstarter. Go back to Kickstarter. It's crazy to us. Like, we're so excited. We're like teenagers right now.
Oh my god, I haven't been able to sleep last night. I've been shaking all day. I've been so excited to finally launch this thing. Oh man, it feels so good. Like,
you can actually feel that energy from both of you right now. You guys like two little kids going, "Come on, guys, check this out."
We've lived this every day for like a solid year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been ups and downs for sure. Just like anything, there's been days where you doubt everything, but then there's days where, like, when one of the game stores we were at, and I think I might have mentioned this yesterday too, is people recognized us from the Long Island Tabletop Expo last year, and that was like, wow, it was like euphoria. So it's just, this whole process has been a roller coaster. I'm sure as a lot of projects that people work on, but man,
but it's always beautiful to see the passion. It's always beautiful to see the energy. It's always beautiful to see, because sometimes people don't see that. They don't get the chance to see that. And right now they can see it through you guys, because that's exactly what's happening. All this momentum, all this moving forward. And all of a sudden here we are back at Long Island Tabletop all over again, just so you guys can do the whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're so looking forward to it is because we had so much fun last year. And the game was a fledgling thing that we just thought of. And now this year, after all the work we've done, like, we can't wait to show it to people. Like, I can't wait to show it to you. I can't wait for you to see how different it is from what it was last year, but in a good way.
That says a lot already. And I've been excited to see the role-playing aspect of the whole thing, because, it's it's that whole concept of you can use these cards for the battle for the role playing game, which is a whole different type of thing, because you don't usually gel both those worlds.
Right. Yeah, and this weekend at the Expo is the first time the RPG is being demoed in public. We've demoed it,
and people have to make sure to sign up for it, because you only have you have limited space, right?
I don't know how many seats are left, but if you go to the Long Island Tabletop Expo's event page on, I think the website is event.com or something. There's a whole list of events, and if you find the Hit Point demo, you can sign up, and that's where we'll be. I have a really good friend, a great dungeon master, coming in to run these games, and it's gonna be great.
Gage is asking, do you guys have a play sample video? Have you set up a play sample video up for the game?
So the only videos that we have, I think, are the animated ones. Now that I think about it,
we have on the Kickstarter, we have a full instructional video on how to play the game, and we do have some lore videos on our Instagram as far as like what the classes are, what to expect with that.
Yeah.
And in the coming, weeks, months, we're going to be dropping more content. We're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, in terms of like first person playthroughs, like if you had a camera sitting down while we were playing, we don't have that, but that's actually a really great idea. So that way people could see beginning to end and how the game progresses.
Yeah, we're hoping to meet some people who aren't friends or who aren't family, who want to play the game and maybe do that.
Well, the good thing is that we're going in with full gear, because I don't usually go with full gear to the cons anymore, so we can do something like that.
Hey, that's awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, we want to capture the whole thing. I'm bringing the big camera, the beautiful 35 millimeter, so we can figure out how to capture the whole thing and maybe show off the game a little better, and as well do an interview while we're there on the big camera.
Oh, of course.
That'd be fantastic. I can't wait to see this body in a big camera. I'm sure I won't lose sleep about that. Great.
You got Son of Saint in here going, hey, everyone. Gage is like showing hearts for what you just said. And Son of Saint is going, hey, Gage, how you doing?
Appreciate all you guys joining.
Yeah.
This event, Long Island Tabletop is just an amazing event. You guys felt the energy. You can feel the energy in this beautiful video that they did here for the event. And you can see some familiar faces like Shadowrabbit right there.
Yeah.
It was so funny because yesterday we were like, oh, Shadowrabbit's in the thing. And of course, that's Game of Tunes Russell, who are both going to be there tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we can't wait to see everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's talk a little bit about these reward tiers. We talked about them yesterday, but now that we can see them.
Yes.
So here we go.
Before we jump into that, what do you think about the whole redesign? From the mint and pink to the red, orange, and yellow?
I gotta say, it stands out more. I'm not sure why. The pink, you figure the pink would stand out, but this stands out more.
So this goes exactly with our Corruption of Hosphere set, which is takes place.
I saw that in the poster, and I'm like, okay, you guys continue in the poster. Okay,
it's the Forever Autumn Forest.
Yeah,
like we were talking about yesterday. The finger.
Yeah, the finger.
Dude, this looks fantastic. I gotta say, I was looking at the poster when we were talking, and I was like, okay, he didn't say nothing about this yesterday. So this is what this is. All right. So, and like we were talking yesterday, the reward tiers. So we have a great jump on point. $10 is very cheap for a jump on point.
Yeah. So we tried to put in a tier for everyone, and for everyone to get something. So the first tier would be just a single booster pack for $10. And then you go into the 2-player intro kits. And so the way that we've structured those to work is, for the normal TCG, everyone has 60 cards. But what we did here is we took a 60-card deck, divided it into two class decks of 30 cards. So now you and your friend can play.
Oh, wow.
It's a much shorter game, but it's a lot less of a commitment than buying just 2 starter decks,
Right.
And then once you're ready, you're like, oh wow, this is great. Put the decks together. Now you're ready to just roll in the normal format. And so
But I like that. I like the fact that if you buy the starter pack, you can actually start playing. You don't have to wait till somebody else buys their starter pack, because that's how it used to be. Especially with the starter decks for like Magic the Gathering. You had to get yours and get theirs. Hold on, I'll show it off here.
Yeah, so that's one of them. This is the Brigand and the Luthier.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the Brutalist and the Sayer. So one's red and
two different
the other is
starter
orange.
So when you're picking, you can pick which one you want.
Yeah. So there's 2 tiers. Actually, technically, there's 3 tiers. There's a tier for the Brigand and Luthier. There's a tier for the Brutalist and Sayer, and then there's a tier for both if you want both.
Oh, I gotta say, like, before we move on, and this $40 starter thing, you got dice, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, for $40, I get 2 decks, some dice, the rules. I think I'm in love here.
Yeah. It works out so great.
I see what you're saying. So you got the 2 different sets here on 2 different tiers. Okay, so you can pick Brutalist, or you can pick the bigger. Okay.
And nice. So, like, if you click into the reward tier, like on the side of the Kickstarter, or on the reward tab or whatever, it kind of gives a little example of each of the classes. I know we went over them in this video, but for those of you who are sharing this to your friends or whatever, we do give like a little blurb. I think you passed it right there. This kit includes Brutalist, and then it gives a Brutalist description and Sayer description, and then
all right, let me earn my keep here. Hold on. This 2-player intro kit includes 2 pre-made 30-deck cards for you and a friend to learn how to play HitPoint. When you're ready, you can combine both decks into one ready-made 60-card deck for yourself. Each kit also comes with a set of 7 polyhedral dice. This includes the Brutalist, a fearsome and primal class, embracing brute force as their primary weapon. Sayer, a mystical class, drawing its power from a deep connection with nature. Nice.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it better myself.
You're a natural.
Yeah, this guy. Let me try doing your voice. The Brutalist. I can't do it. I suck at this. I could breathe heavy. That's better.
That's part of it. Oh, man. Yeah, this is fantastic. So then the other one has the Brigand, a cunning class that lives in the shadows, utilizing precise strikes and poison to take down enemies. The Luthier, this class specializes in music, magic, and physical prowess to overcome life's obstacles. All right, love it.
Yeah, we're super excited. And so past the intro kits is the booster box, and so that's a 20-pack box. Each pack containing 12 cards for a total of 240, if my math is correct. And beyond that is the Ultimate Collector's Bundle. And so basically it's the booster box plus both intro kits.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So you get a whole booster box to fill out your deck.
Yep. Yeah.
And you have the both starter kits. Nice.
Yeah.
And that's only $150.
What'd you say?
That's only $150. That's pretty cheap.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It's on par for, other trading game booster boxes. Actually a little under.
That's what I'm saying. It's pretty cheap, because I know from experience how expensive these type of things are.
So do I.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, this is a great deal right here, because if you buy them separately, that's $80. But if you buy them both together, that's $70.
Right. Yeah, we wanted to give a little incentive, so that's why we did that. And then we actually have some add-ons as well. So we have a booster pack add-on. So if you wanted to buy,
wait, you got an ultimate bundle. Oh, okay, so I see the difference. This is the boosters, and that's the bundle. Okay, cool. So that's the 200. That's pretty cheap still.
Yeah. I mean, I think it works out to a pretty great deal.
Yeah.
And then, so if you wanted to, buy an intro set, but you wanted to add some booster packs to your pledge, we have booster pack add-ons. We also have edition token add-ons to help with play. We have
also, you got the custom playmat.
Yes. Yep. So that playmat actually has the whole field layout. Plus, it has some instructions on the bottom that help you go. It guides you with the turn structure, tips for different parts of the game. It's just really good to learn. And we tried making it look nice. It goes with our set theme.
Yeah.
So,
and obviously, once you're familiar with it, you can get your Waifu playmat back into action, but for all the Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Of course. And that's what you were saying yesterday. That's how you started off as a kid, right? With the Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I was huge into Yu-Gi-Oh for many, many years. I actually stopped probably when they introduced Pendulum.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I can't grasp with this.
I
was on my way out during like the whole Ixies phase. But I loved synchros. For those who have played Yu-Gi-Oh, synchros were my bread and butter.
I can tell you this much. When Magic the Gathering started, because I was around for that. When Magic the Gathering started, I was sitting there going, "Oh, this is incredible!" And then I started trying to play the game, and I was like, "No!" But I kept buying the cards because they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that game got way too complicated.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't feel as complicated as Magic the Gathering. So
yeah, it's pretty. It's not Magic the Gathering. There's it's something completely different from Magic.
Oh, you can see it. Yeah.
There's no ramping with mana. There's none of that stuff. It's just like your life is your resource. Once you're out of your life, you're done playing the game. The game should take up to 25 minutes to a half hour, depending on how many people you can play with. And we've had, I think we played 2 4-on-4 team battles, one of our last events. So that's 2 teams of 4 people versus another team of 4 people,
nice.
Going back and forth, slinging spells at each other, and and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. There were some kinks with it, as far as like, all right, who goes first, or how does the order go? But like, we got through it, and it was a lot of fun.
That's easy, man. You got your dice. You just go roll for initiative.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, man. Roll for initiative. If all else fails as a DM, just say roll for initiative and see what happens. Shadowrabbit is saying, "Yo, this looks awesome."
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
The gauge is overpowered too. Have one for you and a friend. There you go. Dice looks like I'm getting on a Kickstarter.
Hey, yes.
And he's also saying that isn't a bad price for the whole setup, and it's not. It's a really good price for all that fun that you can have. And I gotta say, I think one of the things I like, and we've mentioned it a little bit before, but it's the whole concept that you don't have to play the role play. You can play the card game,
right?
Yeah, and then you don't have to play the card game. You can play the role play.
Yeah,
but I feel like because you guys are able to pull that apart instead of having one cohesive thing, I feel like it makes it into something bigger.
Yeah.
Our thought process behind that was like, okay, so we have the RPG, and all your friends come. It's a Thursday night, and John couldn't make it because John's kid's throwing up, or whatever, fill in the blank.
Life.
But like, right. So the night's not ruined. Now you guys could just sit around the table, and even if you got 5-6 people, still sit around the table and just shuffle up and play. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I really love the fact that this game has so much growth potential.
It's crazy because of the ideas that we have, and like we're trying to restrain ourselves from overextending right now. But oh man, like something that an idea that has been thrown around, and a lot of our followers have been giving us this idea from the beginning, and it's like boss decks. And so it's basically a trading card version of everyone's a cooperative team, and you're versing this giant monster deck, and you have to kill it before it basically kills everyone. So that's something else that we've thought of for the future, and we're just so excited for everything.
Your GM's like, all right, this is my big bad, whips out a 250 card deck, and says, all right, this is, a rod, the world god, and which is one of our characters.
And go at him.
There you go. You know?
Yeah.
Gage is saying role playing can be ruined by life. Not an experience I've ever had. Yeah.
April Fool's is past.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's again, yeah, like that sounds great because you know how many times like you were joking about it, but how many times has that happened where you're all there except for one person, and especially if you're in the middle of something and that person
Right.
is in the midst of that, that can really throw off the whole game because then as a DM you have to figure out, can you play the scene without the person, or do you give that character to somebody else to play for a bit, which I've had DMs do that before, where you're playing two characters today.
Right.
I feel like this gives you a whole other option.
Yeah. They say the hardest encounter is scheduling. So
No.
Believe me, yeah, that's what kills most games is the fact that you start trying to schedule the game and you can't schedule the game because everybody has something happening.
And even from just playing D&D, or like I come from playing World of Warcraft, like
Same here.
trying to get 10 or 25 people together for a raid, forget about it. It's like
yeah, it's wild.
I felt so many times where certain people didn't show up when they needed to show up and we couldn't have the event because and then you sit there going, well, what else? What are we gonna do now?
Yeah. But at least with that game you could go level or do whatever you want.
Or ask people to join. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of want that same type of aspect of it where it's like the night's not lost. We could still play our game with our friends and still have a good night, and we'll catch the RPG next week.
Right.
Pick up where we left off. There's nothing wrong with adaptability in a game. I'm actually shocked that nobody's really done this before, because it hasn't really been done before. And I'm not tooting our own horns, but like toot, like we see a problem, we tackle a problem, and hopefully people like it. People could not like it, but from what we've seen so far, people kind of dig it. So,
and it's funny that you say that because I feel like most of the times what happens is that most of these things know that you're gonna have to figure it out, so they don't even mention it. I figure that should be like a something in the game masters in the dungeon master manual that should be mentioned. If the game something happens, I think that because sometimes that's one of the pieces of advice you need. Gage is spoiled because he goes, I'm a spoiled game master, so I'm guessing he hasn't experienced. he's like make them a cardboard cutout.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things that should be covered, but aren't covered, and I feel like most systems leave it up to you to figure out. Oh, they don't even mention it. It's just like because, and it's something that happens to a lot of games. Somebody doesn't show up. What do you do?
Right. I know.
You gotta go to a YouTube channel like this and find out and get some alternative ideas.
Yeah.
And here you have it, folks. HitPoint has an alternative idea.
That's right.
Combining the best of both worlds.
Oh, and it definitely does that. And folks, I'm telling you, if you are here in the New York City area, head yourself off to Long Island to the Cradle of Aviation and check out the Tabletop Gaming Expo. And you can actually go and expo the HitPoint game there. And, if you're having trouble deciding, you can decide right there at the game and support it right there.
Yep.
Exactly.
You can back us right there. You can talk to the people who made it.
Yeah.
We're honest, we're forthcoming. We try to be funny.
We're always welcoming of constructive criticism. We want this to be the best it could be.
Yeah.
So don't hold back.
And that's what it should be. Yeah, you should be able to sit there, figure out what's going on, because that's the way games grow.
Right. Yeah. So just for everyone who wasn't listening yesterday, we will have a booth in the vendor section. And so I don't know where that is yet. They'll give us the table tomorrow when we bring our stuff. But we'll have a big booth, 8x8. It'll have this all over it. Big red, white, black, red. I know my colors.
You're just excited. Don't worry about it.
Black, red, and yellow, orange. And then we'll have the RPG playtest in the unpublished section. But you won't be able to miss it. We'll be there. So,
dude, that sounds fantastic. And of course, if like we've been saying, go to the website and start telling start making sure that you get yourself into the play test, because you're gonna run out of seats.
Yeah. I do want to mention, because oh man, this was just so exciting when we spoke to this guy. So this cover, the cover art here was made by Ian Jepson.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that name, but he's done multiple Magic cards. He's done movie posters. He's done stuff for Miller Lite and everything. He did such an amazing job with this. I can't get over it. It was worth every penny. And I mean, I'm like just like word vomiting over it right now.
we play Fortnite like a bunch of 14-year-olds, and I actually have some of his artwork that he did for Fortnite. He's done stuff for Rocket League, like Jay said. He's done stuff for Magic. He just did the Jeweled Lotus for Magic the Gathering. He did that card art, which was the set artwork for the I think the past Masters set that they had come out. So when Jay and Lisa told me that we were getting him to do the cover artwork, I was like, what? So
that's the moment we schoolgirl out, geek out.
Yeah. And it's cool because I think it adds weight to our brand. Like, we have a solidified brand, which kind of we've had from the beginning, but we want people, set the tone. This is the set. This is what the set is. It's set in an autumn forest. Everything looks like that, so that's key, I think.
You got Gage wishing he was on this side of the U.S.
Gage.
He's on the
West.
Yeah, he's in Nevada right now.
Nevada.
Yeah.
Hot Nevada.
Yeah. My parents were just there, actually.
Dude,
they went to Vegas.
We could ship to Nevada. I'm
Yeah.
sure if you're back, we'll get you.
Gage is probably already in there.
Well, if that's the case, give us some time. We'll send it out.
All right, so let's have some fun. And oh, look, it's already gone up by another one, and now you're at 339.
Nice. Is that 10%? Is that math right?
Yeah, it's about 10%. Yeah, you're right.
Let's go.
Let's play the videotape, folks, and see what this little beautiful video will tell us about it, because I've been looking forward to seeing what you guys put together.
Welcome to HitPoint, an original multi-purpose card game where players engage in interactive battles either as a standalone trading card game or seamlessly integrate their customized deck into a tabletop role-playing adventure. When playing, your deck is your health, which is also your main resource to play cards. This keeps the game fast and simple while giving a satisfying visual effect to your character's exhaustion. Players build 60 card decks consisting of weapons, armor, attacks, and support cards. Each person begins the game with a complete set of weapons and armor, then the decks are shuffled. All players start the game by drawing 6 cards. Players roll a die to determine who goes first, and the player with the highest roll starts by drawing 1 card to begin their turn. Players get 1 action and 1 reaction to use, which resets at the beginning of each of their turns. Cards marked with an A use up an action, and cards marked with an R use up a reaction. Most cards have an exhaust cost, which is paid by flipping the top card of your deck to the exhaust zone. Cards in the exhaust zone may only be retrieved if you are healed, as they are then shuffled into your deck. When playing a card, simply follow what the card text says. When you play a card with power, roll the appropriate dice and add whatever bonuses match in the top left corner of the card. For example, if you play a card with the swords icon, which is the strength icon, you'll add the total amount of strength bonuses to your roll. These can be found on your armor. When an action is played, all players have a chance to respond with a reaction. Once all reactions have been played, all cards resolve in a reverse order and then play passes to the left. This process repeats for each person's turn until a player wins. Winning the game is simple. Outlast your opponents while having cards remaining in your deck and or your hand. This is exactly how the combat plays in the RPG. The only difference is that each player's deck size varies depending on their character's health. To create a character, players choose from a list of playable species and classes, each with its own unique skill tree. These skills will influence how you build and play your deck, although building your deck is completely customizable. Campaigns consist of a game master who guides the rest of the players through the world. The Game Master can build decks for each of the encounters or use pre-built monster stat blocks. This game utilizes a D20 mechanic, meaning players will use a D20 to overcome any non-combat obstacles we call conflicts. For example, if a player wants to search a room, they would roll a D20 and add any knowledge bonuses they have, and hopefully roll high enough to succeed. For more in-depth information, check out our complete rulebook on our website, HitPointGame.com. Back this Kickstarter and get access to our first set, Corruption of Hossphere, along with intro decks and branded merchandise. Get more out of life. Back HitPoint now.
There you have it, folks. That looks fantastic, and I feel like it's a great explanation for the game. I think you actually utilize your video the way it should be utilized, especially for something like a game. You actually gave a brief explanation, told people what was going on, told them what they can expect, told them what the tiers were. I think you did a good job with that.
Thank you. Do you like how I said the word obstacles?
You said obstacles.
That happens, believe me. Especially when you're doing voiceover work, you say things because you're trying to be, or you try and pronounce words the way you're supposed to pronounce words.
And not for nothing, big shout out to Jay's wife, Lisa, who put the whole video together. She put all the
nice
artwork and assets together to create our look. An absolute rock star.
Yeah,
she's
sure.
She's a huge part of this.
I know she is, because when I saw you guys first at Hudson Yards, she was a big part of that too. She didn't stand back. It was both of you talking to me, explaining things, and I was like, okay, cool. The only time she stood back was like, okay, I'm gonna do a little video. Who do I talk to? And she goes, him.
Yeah. She's been designing since day one, so
she's still at the computer right now.
we would not be here without her for sure.
I gotta say, just to bring back where you guys are coming from, the veiled one-shot boxes were amazing, and I can see, since I've been with you that long, I can actually see the upgrade to this now. I can see the bits and pieces of what that was in here, because I can see the love of, well, here's the one-shot story we're putting together in this box, and we're giving all these little bits and pieces. I get the feeling that you're not finished putting bits and pieces together.
No, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at this going, I can see that, I saw you added the dice, and I'm like, and there has to be like other ideas flowing that you guys haven't done yet, and you're like, fuck, we could have done it here.
Yeah, I mean, this, like I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. It's the jumping point to something amazing, and so I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are off the rails,
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to see where it goes and to meet all the people and just do it all. And
not for nothing, win, lose, or draw. If this gets backed, we're going to be so ecstatic. But if it doesn't, we put pen to paper and we did something, So we at least took that chance, and and not for nothing, we became better friends because so just. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, like I said, win, lose, or draw.
Here's just to show you that you guys are doing the right thing. Backed, and just to show it off. Boom.
Hey, look at that.
That was like a quarter of the way there now.
You guys really are like, this is why we do it, Just the fact that you guys want to pick this up and try it. It means so much.
Yeah.
And you guys, again, I can't say enough, and I want to keep harking on it because, you guys did a great job at this. You can see the time put into it. You can see the work put into it. You can see the passion put into it. You guys are talking about each other and how you guys will all work this together, but you can feel that in this project.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when I say we poured our hearts into it, like we literally ripped our hearts out, cracked them open, poured them in glass.
Well, not literally.
Basically.
Oh man, Gage is like, wow, I love that mindset. Win, lose, we did it.
Exactly.
Win, lose, we did it. There you go. I can speak.
Win, lose, or draw your hand.
There you go. Win, lose, or draw. dude. So let's tease a little bit here, because I see we have people's attention. What can you say? Where is this going? What can you tease them with?
What can we tease them with?
Do you what specifics? Do you want like lore background teasing or future?
You can give us a little bit of everything.
Okay. You want to
I'll
talk
start.
about the world?
So the world it's called Basel Down. The way the world kind of came into creation was there were two primary races. There were the Bacilli, which is a race of dragon people, and then there's the Danen, which are like a race of like high elven, very ethereal type people. And there was this whole huge culling of the Bacilli. And what happens is, the Bacilli are ousted, the Danen take power, and they have 5 cities throughout the world. So in the center of the map, you can see that kind of island out there. That's New Danen. That's the capital city for the entire world. And there's 5 main cities on all the continents, and they're all under Danen rule. When the culling happened, there was something called the Awakening, and that's where the other races come into the world. The Senosi, the Favelli, the Carnals. Senosi are kind of like a bipedal dog people. There's 2 classes in there. There's not classes, but there's 2
subspecies.
2 subspecies. There's the Brachio, which are the large brooding mastiffs, pit bulls, those types, the short-nosed dogs. And then you have the Dolio, which are the, the shepherds, the Aussies, and they kind of embody that whole look. The Favelli are a rodent class, hamsters, mice, rats. And the Carnals are your ethereal-looking, taller human type. Kind of look along the lines, if there are any Lord of the Rings fans out there, shout out J.R.R. Tolkien. They're kind of like along like the Numenorians, where they're like just bigger, like 8 feet tall type, and they come into the world. The Danen kind of take them under their wing and teach them about the world, and then they start putting them into service. Not so much slavery, but service, and they put them under their thumb.
To complement what you're just saying, the reason that they came in is the Bacilli and the Danen were gonna finally have peace, and the Danen had this ulterior motive, and they channeled a bunch of magic, triggering this like giant explosion type of blast, and it ripped holes from other realms into the world. So,
and that's where all the other races.
That's how the other races kind of poured in.
And leading up to that, after the Danen put them under the thumb, eventually, after years and years of being in service of the Danen and their corruption, they all rebelled. All the other classes rebelled. And where HitPoint picks up story-wise is post that rebellion, when they ousted the Danen. They didn't cull them like the Danen did to the Bacilli. They tried to fold them back into the world. And so now what Basel Dan and HitPoint's about is that trying to live in that world after the revolution, trying to put things back together again, and all the consequences from that. So there is a pretty deep lore. I did a piss poor job trying to do it, but we have
videos. I think you did a good job at explaining what's going on. Yeah. Gage is asking what other characters are coming.
So we have, for the species, he went over the 4. We also have Tustrum, which is coming down the pipeline, and that is like similar to a dwarf. What other species is that?
There's the Duendo, which are kind of like a underground goblin gnomish, more kind of like a mix between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of savage, like tribal type, but underground people, small. And
get this. So we have, like every other fantasy, thing, we have goblins, but only our goblins are GOBBLIN, and they are turkey humanoids.
Goblins.
The goblins.
I love that.
And that's one of my favorite parts. I love that so much.
Yeah, Jay goes nuts for the goblins, you know, which nice.
I can see why,
goblin
man.
for
Just the
goblins.
name alone gets me, goblins.
We want the world to be like, yeah, it's serious, yeah, it has consequences, but we also want it to be like tongue in cheek too. It all stems from, is it fun? You know, you're rolling up on goblins. Oh, they're giant turkeys. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Exactly.
So Gage
for
is asking
classes.
necromancers eventually.
So we have, I don't want to unfold too much, but I'll give you a little taste. So the classes that are going to come out probably in the next set are the Arcuri, which is a ranger type class.
And they're teased in a lot of
they're very intertwined. There's the Cyranu, which are the almost paladin type classes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Thalmir, which are they're your elemental mages.
Yeah.
You know, and we have tons more past that, but I'm not going past that. But we do have plans for other magic types and stuff like that.
I believe there was a necromancer type class or something similar to it.
All right, I'll give you one more. We also have a class called the Puppet Master.
Ooh.
And we're still working on it. It's like super ground level. Not a lot of it makes sense yet. So that's probably going to be like 2 or 3 sets in. But like I said, we have a ton of stuff. So like, stick with us. You know, we'll do cartwheels and backflips to try to get this stuff out to you guys. But only if you back it and make it happen.
You got to make it happen. You got to make the
Make it
dream
happen,
come true, folks. You got to make
man.
the dream come true. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Jeff, because I asked Jay yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, there's just too much happening here with that finger pointing at that other island. So, is there something special about that island that we're going to see later on?
I gotta say everything.
You don't have to say it.
I already told them that was actually part of one of the one-shot boxes.
Yeah.
that we
So
were-
actually, that one-shot box was written by myself and my girlfriend Cassandra, and it's the place where all the magic kind of comes from, and the island doesn't stay there; it roams.
Dude, that's all I needed to hear because I'm like, that finger's pointing at that for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's placed up there for the map right now because that's where I kind of like envisioned it starting. But
Well, it
that
makes
island
sense.
roams around.
Well, like I said, though, you know, it's a perfect place for it to be. It's actually pointing at it. So it's like, hey, folks, look. It won't be there for long, but look.
Yeah, look at that giant purple island.
See, that's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to hear because I'm like, you know, I'm one of those guys that goes, everything's set up in a certain way for a reason. You know, a lot of people don't do it like that, but you know, I feel like there's times where you're like, that finger's pointing for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing that we joke about all the time is like, you know, what are we doing? Are we doing this with intent, or are we just trying to put some silly words together to try to make it be high fantasy? I'm not a seasoned writer. I'm not a Tolkien or, you know, George R.R. Martin, or take any classic fantasy writer. I'm a guy who's got some ideas who I'm trying to slap on paper. Some of them are going to work. Some of them are not going to work. Some stuff's going to sound silly. Some stuff's going to be great. I think for the most part, what we have so far, it's a great foundation to move upward, you know? And that comes with the help of the people that play the game, you know? Like we've kind of taken a lot of stuff from people who have played and been like, oh, that's a cool story beat. The last one that we had at East End, there was one guy who was just like rattling off cool idea after cool idea. And I was just like, I'm going to steal some of your stuff. He's like, go ahead, do it. I might, you know, I'm not above it, but you know, like, just kidding. But
that's how it is, though.
Like that.
That's why I love those geek conversations because they lead to, especially as a DM, they lead to something cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
DMs are a true DM who does it every week, whether they know it or not. They are an absolute beast at telling a story, and because you have to be, because with DMs, in the traditional sense, whether you're playing Pathfinder, you're playing D&D.
Yeah.
If your characters move in a direction that you didn't plan, you have to pivot in that direction
Exactly.
and sew it all together.
You got to go with the flow. You got to go with the ride.
It's super hard, and like I give it up to DMs, and that's kind of why we want to make Hit Point more DM friendly, so DMs can not only craft their story within the world we have, or their own story, whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
Like with building the decks, like we have creature stat blocks, you know, that you could reference and stuff like that. But if you want to slap some cards together, even make small characters, do it. Have fun playing the game you want to. Engage with the people that you're playing with and have a better night. You just don't have to be the storyteller. You could be the participant, you know?
Right.
That's what happens to DMs. They get stuck being the DM.
Yeah.
Right. And the mechanics were made for that very reason. You know, we don't go into the depth of like D&D does, you know, 30 feet, 15 feet, you know, this is how much you can move, yada, 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 and you're measuring things out. I know some people love that, but we took that out, made it more generalized so that way people could focus more on the story, focus more on the interaction, and then just drive that forward.
So it sounds like, you know, you're getting the DM to be part of it. Have you considered doing a DM deck?
Yes, we've talked about that too.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We're just trying to figure, because the cards that we make have to fit in the set. You know, you could only have X amount of cards in a set. So I think as far as like deck crafting for GMs in the future, I mean, they have to have more assets to be able to craft those decks, you know? So I think for the future, that's a fantastic idea. And that's kind of one that we had from day one that we started doing the RPG. But it's just, you know, if we had, how many cards are in the first set?
151.
151 cards.
For all my Pokemon fans out there.
I figured that's what you were trying to do, and I feel like that's a great way to start because, you know, did you get off at 151 and then
I didn't know what that meant until 5 seconds ago when you said for all my Pokemon fans.
Fins.
Yep, I'm doing great.
So Shadowrabbit is saying that Token and Martin weren't Token and Martin until they started writing, man. Keep kicking butt and doing your thing. So far, you got a lot of us interested. It looks really cool.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Trying to be I'm a super honest dude. I will be as transparent as possible. If you come and you see me at the tabletop convention, you will actually see that live in person.
Oh, definitely. That's what I saw that last time. Yeah. I saw that the last time, and that was what made it more fun, though, because, you know, we were just all hanging out. It was a bunch of geeks at a table.
When it all falls down, it's a game. You know, it's a game that you use to get away from your normal life for a couple of hours. We all have jobs. We would rather be playing games all day, but in the time that you are playing games, have as much fun as possible.
Yeah,
that's a definite.
Well said.
Thank you.
And I will add this, like, you know, I was talking about the Game Master deck, but at the same time, I already feel like you've already set it up so that the Game Master can actually play and have fun while we're doing it. I was just asking because, you know, as a Dungeon Master, you're always looking to see how you can up the ante.
Yeah, right. The answer is yes.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, folks. So you can see it's going to be upped soon, but at least you know that you can play it now and enjoy it, which is something you can't usually do as the guy who's telling the story.
The game is an open book. You know, once you pay for this product, do what you want with it. You know, like sans, you know, weird stuff, but like, you know, craft your own game, make your own characters, do your own thing. Like, it's okay. It's, you know, just back us and you can do whatever you want. So.
All right, folks. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we're up another backer. We're at 593, which is really great.
Hello, people.
Well, that means we are a quarter, no, a third of the way, quarter of the way.
I don't know. My math stops at 10%.
As much as I'm a Dungeon Master, my math sucks. So
I think we're about 20%, right? Because
it's about 20%.
300 times 2 is 600, which would be 20%.
Game no math. May as well be $1 billion.
Okay, folks, we're at the hour mark here. So, guys, tell the people all the good stuff they want to hear so they know where to go with this. I'm going to put this link into the comment section so it's easier to get to while you guys are talking. Go for it.
So our website is HitPointGame.com. We just revamped it. It's a brand new website with all the new imagery and everything. We have links to our Kickstarter right on the homepage. If you scroll all the way down, there are links to our Discord, which we are highly active in, and you can take part in development. You can play test. Our Discord is a lot of fun, and we're trying to grow it as much as possible. And we also have TikTok and Instagram. Can you refresh that? Because that's the old one.
Oh, if I probably got it up here before you changed it. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's badass.
Yo, that character right there is a shroom.
A shroom.
So we based the whole set around.
So that button right there leads right to the Kickstarter. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have our social links. And then, like I said, go to our Discord. Our Discord, we're trying to grow as much as possible. And it's probably the best way to get in contact with us, to ask questions, to take part in development and everything. So
Catch us on OnlyFans. Just kidding.
You get special cards on OnlyFans.
No OnlyFans. That was a total joke. Sorry.
I like the fact that you got the video here playing on the website as well. You know, show off a little bit. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, because sometimes you can't get enough information.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and so something to look forward to is now that we have the Kickstarter out, we're going to be marketing it and everything, but we're going to resume with the lore videos that we were doing. Because
you left us hanging. Yeah.
And we're also going to try and post more on TikTok, doing, credit to Jeff's name, hit pointers. So micro learning.
I love that.
Videos on how you can play the game.
If you want somebody to say a couple things, I'm volunteering.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Yeah, we need that smooth voice.
Oh, I appreciate that. I gotta say, I love this video here showing off the gameplay. Again, sometimes people want to see what you have, and I guess that's what the play videos that Gage is talking about. But right here, you got an example of how the game works.
Right.
With some other companies that we did our due diligence as far as like looking into like how other people did stuff. Even personal games that we've bought into and played, like there wasn't that ease of access when it came to like rule set and stuff like that, and which is a bummer because you buy into a system, you want to know how to play the game. You at least want a good jumping off point, and that was really pivotal to us. When we started sculpting this, all right, like how do we want to show people how to play? And that's Lisa and Jay started doing the videos, and I think it really works. It
definitely works. And I like the fact that you guys sent me over to the website so I can show this off. Because this was a little more extensive than the Kickstarter video.
Yeah.
I'm right? This is a little more extensive?
It should be the same thing.
Well, no, the video is the same, but as far as like information on the website.
Oh, the website, yeah.
You can catch our full rule book on the website, which is how many pages?
Yeah, I gotta trim it down. It's a lot right now. don't focus on the number of pages.
Over 9,000.
Nerd tropes.
I'm
I
a
love
nerd.
It. So if you go to how to play on the top right, and then I think the drop down is called the game.
Okay, hold on.
Or no, maybe it's how to play. It's the first one.
Home, the game, events, contact. Which one?
Yeah, click the game, and then click how to play, and then that'll open up our a PDF version of our rulebook.
Oh, cool.
And like I said, it's constantly being evolved. So just keep checking in. We'll announce via email or Discord or whatever whenever we post the new version.
Yeah, hop in the Discord. Jay's really active in the Discord. I'm going to try to be more active in the Discord. Any questions that you have, we're super approachable and we're dying to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Anything we could do to help you be into this and play this game, not just from, a game to us, but just from a game player's standpoint, we want to be as accessible as possible.
Dude, I feel like you guys are accessible. I think that's one of the things that I liked so much about last year at Tabletop is because people had questions. You were answering them right away, or you were trying to show them how easy it was. It wasn't like it's a secret.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
We want to keep like the lore under wraps, just so it's like new and fresh, you know. But like,
but it's hard.
yeah, we're
oh, definitely.
Bursting out of me.
we're just people, man. You know, like we really have that. Like we're just dudes playing a game. You know, ain't that serious.
And of course, folks, we can't not leave without saying these guys are going to be at Tabletop Gaming Expo this weekend, showing off both aspects of the game. You can actually go and play this and see why we're so excited. You
It's
know,
gonna be great.
Catch
All
us
right.
at the Cradle of Aviation. I'm gonna be sitting on top of a weird plane. Just kidding.
And the Cradle is a fun place to be. And once you finish playing, you have so much other stuff to check out. You also have the video games that are all over the building to play for free, as long as you paid to get in.
Yeah. No, if you've never been there before, the Cradle's super dope.
The whole
Oh,
convention
dude, I love the
is
Cradle.
great, dude.
I love CradleCon. I love game Tabletop. I love oh, what's the other one? It's the one on the video games.
The
It's
retro gaming convention.
retro gaming. Oh yeah, they're all fantastic. Just the fact that it's a con inside of a museum, so you're getting two experiences for one.
Yeah, I've been to tattoo shows there. Like, super cool environment. Not your average convention floor that's just gray concrete.
Yeah, I mean, they actually have like a loft that if you go up the stairs, you could see over the entire vendor hall. It's
beautiful.
pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, you got the vendor hall. You got I think on the second floor, they have all the games that are being played at the same time.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
And well, they have it in a bunch of different places because they have the games there. They also have the games on the side over here. They also have the games in the back over there.
No, just games.
There's a lot of
They
stuff
have,
happening,
like,
folks.
last year they had the Warhammer section where they were
Oh,
painting
yeah.
miniatures.
Mhm.
Like super cool. Not my cup of tea, just because I have ADHD, I think. But you know, I can't sit there with miniatures. That's why I do tabletop games.
I always say the same
Card
thing
games.
when it comes to that. I always say
Super
my
dope.
wallet would not allow me to have that interest. Forget the ADHD, the wallet alone.
Yeah, well, you know that too.
And of course, like I was saying, Shadowrabbit and Russell will be there tomorrow, as well as HitPoint. So go check them out. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's so much stuff. We can't say how much stuff is happening because there's so much stuff happening.
It's a good time
Yes,
to
it is.
just go.
Yeah.
And like we're saying here, especially if you're looking at HitPoint and you're trying to figure out if you want to back this or not, this is the perfect place if you're here in the New York City area to go and check it out so you can go back here and put your money down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly. Dude, they're only trying to get to 3,000. We're already a third of the way there, I think. Third, fourth, fifth, half.
I don't know. I don't do math.
I can't do, again, I'm bad at math.
You have it, folks. You can tell we are excited about this. Go be excited. Go to a Tabletop Gaming Expo. Go enjoy the expo. Find out what the role-playing aspect of it is. Find out what the card-playing aspect of it is. Go get a nice figure from Shadowrabbit himself who can make you anything, you know, because and he will have a special hit point surprise for you guys tomorrow that we'll be showing off when we get there. Well, not tomorrow, Saturday.
So
there you go.
Dude, stoked for the whole thing.
I think that's everything, folks. We have got a good start here. Keep pushing them along. Give them the momentum they need. HitPoint is a game that you guys are going to want to back, and a game you guys are going to want to have in your repertoire.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we love you guys.
Ralph, thank you very much. We really appreciate this, guys. Thank you so much for even tuning in. This is fantastic.
Guys, if you want to come back on and have some fun and talk some more, you're more than welcome to. We're going to have some interesting stuff from the show floor on Saturday, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Absolutely.
See you then.
See you then.
With that, I will sign the show off like I do with the written writ, and I'll press the